Welcome to the Legacy Builders podcast, where we are redefining generational wealth one story at a time. I'm your host, Mario Gonzalez Jr. And if you're looking to build something bigger than yourself, then you're definitely in the right place. Today's guest is Mr. Eric Sattler. Eric and I go way, way back. We met actually at Office Depot, and we connected on music. So this guy, he took me in. We became roommates for a little bit. Like, I was already rapping and producing beats at that point, and he kind of showed me how to master my craft. And the thing that I love about Eric is that he's always been dedicated to his craft and creating, right? Whatever it is. And so seeing you transition, Eric, from like just on social media, right? Like all the different things that you work on, and seeing how your kids are involved and like some of the creative things that they're doing now, it's pretty cool, man. So I'm really excited and happy to have you on the show.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. Appreciate you having me, and definitely have a long history with each other, man.
Yeah,
So it's
man.
always good to catch back up. I mean, I think at this point we're like 20 years later
Dude.
almost. It's
Yeah,
2005, into 2005, so I know that much.
I know, man. I know. So before we jump into everything and we dig into your story and what makes you you, at least the version of yourself that you are today, what does generational wealth mean to you? And what I mean by that is it means different things to different people. For some people, it's money. For some people, it's health. For some people, it's happiness or better relationship with their family. So what does it mean for you?
Yeah, man. Off top, I think wealth is not just held by money. So anything, when people say like they're rich and they're wealthy and stuff, like a lot of times they like to brag about what they have and like the money status and everything like that. But to me, I think a lot of it comes in with, like you said, my kids, leaving something that they can hold on to, whether I pass early or I live a long, healthy life and am able to be there for, generations and generations that they have. So having that sustainability to one, practice my dreams every day and live that lifestyle that I love. Because honestly, I'm not a 9 to 5 guy. I never have been. I never
I
will
know.
be.
Mhm.
And so I'll fight the system 100% every day. Stress about it, everything, just to live this lifestyle. Because for me, the wealth comes into the part where my time is everything for me
Mhm.
right now. And as I watch my kids grow, I notice how much time I don't have because
Yeah.
how quick that they're growing. And so leaving something for them to hold on to, whether it be just like the fire that I have inside me to like be my own person and be my own entity here in this world, or just, sustaining, whether it becomes Envision Films and my youngest who loves photography now.
Mhm.
He does sports photography for his school. He just like picked up a camera, started shooting for the school, and now like they're like all on him,
Yeah.
like, hey, you come help us at this. So leaving that with them, something to hold on to and build off of, I think is generationally
Mhm.
establishing for all of us. Um, if I had $1 million and I passed away, it would only be distributed a little bit amongst everything between
Mhm.
bills and what I leave behind, and then the kids and the family and stuff like that. But the real wealth is knowing like, my dad did this. He tried it this way. He taught me how to do it like this. He showed me how to do that. Like to me, that
Mhm.
that just holds forever. And
Yeah.
the dollar bill goes away. People can come take your money. Banks can close and lose monies and all this kind of stuff that happens and stuff. But those memories, those IP, the intellectual property that we have that we pass on to our kids and show them how to capitalize off of that. I think having that little fire started inside of them could take them so much longer. And who knows? One of them may be a better
Mhm.
videographer, businessman than me, and then be able to take care of me when I'm older
Which is
and
what we hope
I'm
for,
not
right?
willing.
Yeah. We want our kids to be better
Exactly,
than us.
exactly. So at the end of the day, that's what it is. It's just like hoping that they're better than us and
Yeah.
put them in better situations and positions, and not even just like in this world, but just mentally in their
Mhm.
head, having that ability to grasp onto something and own it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Own it is like the main important thing.
Yeah. Something that you said really resonated with me, and it's something that I don't think I've actually put into words or thought about, but like money was a huge motivator, making sure that my family has money to pass on. But the transfer of knowledge to our kids, and like you said, how it can create that generational wealth because you're teaching them to be self-sufficient and actually earn for themselves, right? So I think that's a good way to put it, man. For
Yep.
people who only know you from your directing work today, or you behind the camera, how would you describe who you are right now as a creator, entrepreneur, and a father?
Um, I think I'm in my like storytelling era right now
Mhm.
where, meeting people and getting with businesses and kind of just scrapping that whole influencer thing where it's just like, oh, we want to start a TikTok or we want to start at this and that. And
Yeah.
it's just like, you know, I'm not usually that guy. Like, I don't know a lot of trends. I
Mhm.
follow trends. Obviously, I see them daily on scrolling and stuff like that. But not every trend works for every business, nor should it. It's you don't if you're a seasoned company, having a 19-year-old influencer doing a dance for your business and doing something that's gimmicky to 19-year-olds
Mhm.
who aren't your main focus of your business. You don't if you're a real estate agent, 19-year-olds aren't buying houses right now.
Right.
So why would you do that? So it's
Mhm.
kind of taking that and reminding companies like, hey, you have a story, you have a beginning to where you were influenced to what you're doing today. And that's what people are attracted to, just people are attracted to origin stories. And the more origin story that you have inside of your business, the more personal connections you build, the more lifelong connections that you build with your clients who are more in tune to follow you and necessarily
Mhm.
not just what your business does. They know, oh, Eric's a good guy. He does this, this, and this. So I know that that new business venture he's doing will carry that expectation of who I am as a person,
Yeah.
how I treat my customers. So no matter what it is I do, I may not always be in the video.
Mhm.
Truth be. So if I decide to be a massage therapist or something, like,
Yeah.
oh, Eric takes care of his clients. He makes sure that they're always good. He makes sure that they're healthy. When we're on set, he makes sure that there's clarity, mental clarity. He
Yeah.
already does that when we're doing on set. So imagine what he does when he's actually taking care of your body. Something like that. That's kind of what I'm leaning more into this time is just
Mhm.
trying to find that truthful connection between my brand and other brands that I work with.
Yeah, that's dope, man. I've found that too, is like just being your authentic self and not be afraid to express yourself. And I feel like that's a superpower you unlocked a long time ago. For me, it's really, really recent, right?
Hmm.
Just kind of getting out there, speaking your truth, and whoever resonates, resonates, because at the end of the day, you're not going to please anybody or everybody. Everybody's going to have their own opinions, and yeah, it is what it is. So,
Yeah, definitely.
man,
You'll be fighting that revolving door at
yeah,
that
no
point.
kidding. No kidding. Uh, Take us back to the Austin days, man, where we met at Office Depot. You were stocking shelves. Like, what was going through your mind at that period of time of like who you wanted to become?
I was at an alternative school because I got kicked out of my regular high school and I wanted I wanted more, I was selling clothes at Crockett and I love the hustle. I love the money. I was making really, really bomb ass money for a 16, 17-year-old kid
Yeah.
and, getting kicked out of school, getting sent to an alternative school and getting spoiled with like half day school. So getting out of school early and, having nothing to do. And then so I was like, I need a job. So I found a job. I didn't like it. Found another job. I didn't like it. Found Office Depot. And then they're like, well, we have this whole gap between 2 o'clock and 10 o'clock where we
Yeah.
only have one person and we need more people. And I was like, well, that's perfect because I get off at 1:30, at school. So I can drive from here, South Austin, go, Central Austin and be, whatever it is y'all need me here. So,
Mhm.
uh, yeah, I started doing that and it was good money. So it was like, cool. And then obviously like we met and then we're like, you do music. I was like, well, should I do music? And then
Yeah.
we kind of just formulated and joined together at the, I don't remember how long it was after that. I mean, it had to be like 6 months at
It was
least
at least
after I
six
was
months.
working.
Yeah, we were roommates.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, taking that in and just really wanting that freedom of
Mhm.
making good money, but still doing spending majority of the day on what I love to do. And,
Yeah.
once I found that little gap in that opportunity, it just kind of unlocked like everything that I needed in my head mentally. And I was just like, you want to do this,
Yeah.
buckle down. And so
Yeah.
I dropped out of school. We left Office Depot and, uh, yeah, man, I had things didn't go well at Office Depot, but you know, decisions were decisions. You
Stepping
know
stone,
how
man. Yeah.
yeah, I utilized it how I needed it to,
Yeah.
make some money, have a place, build some clientele at the studio, and get it going, and just creating those memories and that starting anchor, what we call anchor points, right? Like
Mhm.
creating those little anchor points in our life where we can reflect, like, oh, it was this moment that really created,
Mhm.
this moment that I'm at today, and so that was definitely, I'm not gonna say like my prime time or like, but in my youth and adolescence of like figuring out where I wanted to be, that was a prime decision that happened in my life
Yeah.
that really changed like the landscape of what I was doing. Because before I had friends on contracts from school and I was doing stuff at my dad's house and with my little microphone and doing all that. But then I just realized like, man, I can meet a lot of cool people doing this, and
Yeah.
I get into doors that I wasn't necessarily into, and I met some people at Office Depot that were helping with the business side of things, and learning the music industry on a
Mhm.
different thought that I could even think of at the time, and that kind of just opened the floodgates, man. After that, it just didn't stop. I didn't want to work no more. I just love the grind. I
Yeah.
love I love the stress. Like I love the challenge, and I think that's what keeps me motivated every day. That every day is not predictable. So
Mhm.
tomorrow may be a bad day, but 2 days from now may be like the best day that takes care of 2 or 3 months of
Yeah.
living. And so it's those unexpected things and those joys. It's like finding treasure every day. Like,
Mhm.
oh shit, pot of gold right here. And I think that's what just keeps me going. I really don't. I really can't take it back to too many spots, but man, like
Yeah.
just like having that apartment really did just change.
Yeah.
It wasn't like a place of living for us. It was just like a place of operation,
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
it was a dope experience to have.
Yeah. Yeah. Where did that drive come from for you?
Man, I was actually talking to my neighbor the other day, and I was kind of just telling him like, I wasn't heavily influenced by a lot, but for sure my brother, he was the same kind of motivational person. He was a mechanic, so like he lived that like entrepreneurial lifestyle. My dad, he worked for companies, then he started a company, and that time that he dedicated is just like I was telling him, like it resonates with me now because I'm always in front of my computer and I'm always doing
Mhm.
something that was work. And I remember those days like trying to get my dad to like do something, but it was work. I had a work
Mhm.
call. I'm on these meetings. I have this, and so at the time you obviously don't understand it as a kid, so you're off doing your own thing. But
Yeah.
now that I see it with my kids, I've learned how to like fix it, the emotional side and the connection side with my kids. I
Mhm.
learned how to adjust to that side more so than like the business. Like my business is there, but my kids always are first.
Yeah.
And that helps me get that drive going now today, is that same feeling that I had when I was like meeting people like you and other artists and stuff, and their hunger
Mhm.
was there and their drive. My kids have that same drive now. So
Yeah.
like I get to put that same energy into them and not necessarily like quote unquote waste it. But there's a lot of people who just come in, want to feel what it's like to be a studio and do
Yeah.
this, but they don't really want to do nothing with their career. And then there's people who are just don't have the fortune enough to like know people or resources to
Mhm.
do what they want to do. So now that I can put all that energy and time with the business, with my kids, it's like I just can't lose,
Yeah.
and so it's whether I do it full time or not, it doesn't even matter no more.
Yeah.
Like that ego side of me is gone. It's
Yeah.
more so just like sustainability,
Mhm.
but showing that my kids I can still do it if I wanted to, full time, hardcore, make money, have a plan, fall, pick up, assess myself, go back at like just repeating that. I think that's just like I don't know, it just feeds me somehow.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever it is, it feeds me.
I know exactly how you feel, man. Like I said, you've been at it way longer. It wasn't until, and I tried different things before I got into the dog training business that I'm at now, right? But like trying to help people understand that you just need to go for it. Just try it,
Yeah.
right? Whatever you
Yeah.
want to do. And then not only try it, but put in the reps. And I ran into a pattern where I would try a bunch of different things and not always follow through or commit to them. Because for me, try something, I get bored, try something else, get bored. And you get those people that kind of scoff at you like, oh, there Mario's trying something else, right? And then it wasn't until like I became consistent with something that I started flourishing and it just things started taking off. So,
Yeah.
um, you know, what part of the creative process makes you feel alive today?
Um, you know, really, man, just like having an idea, the
Yeah.
ability just to come up with an idea.
Yeah.
It's, I my lady always tells me like, there's people that have ideas and they get everybody involved, but they don't ever like even put the idea down on paper. It's just in their
Mhm.
head. And that's not me. It's like I have an idea. It's like, all right, fuck, stop everything. Let's
Yeah.
figure it out. Let's dissect it. Let's see where it can go. How can I implement it into what I'm doing today? Does it
Mhm.
even involve what I'm doing today? And then like clothing, like clothing was just an expressional piece for me.
Mhm.
But I designed a jacket and I'm like, yo, this jacket's beautiful. It was in my head and my kids helped me and with some ideas and then I'm like, well, damn, now I gotta find a way to get it made.
Yeah.
And and then so I started doing that and I met manufacturers and then I met people, personal manufacturers who do custom brand and I got a whole jacket made that's, that I sold for $1,500 and it was made had gold thread and
Mhm.
all beautiful details and I made three of them. So like my kids, we split that $1,500 amongst us three and
Yeah.
I wanted to show them like, this is what an idea can do for you. This is what following through with that idea can do. Not necessarily if it fails, if I did sell it or not,
Yeah.
but just having that jacket in my hands was a start to finish
Mhm.
success point for me. And it really showed them, that summer that we got it made, it really showed them that, damn, like they got on the table and they started drawing different designs and today my oldest, he got his first pair of pants manufactured, and he's already sold five of them at
Dang.
$75 a piece. And
Yeah.
my youngest, he's just the model type. He wasn't
Yeah.
necessarily the designer, but he loves everything clothing. He loves to go to the store and model for the people there and stuff.
Yeah.
So
Dude, isn't it
now,
so cool just seeing your kids evolve and then just
oh
pick
man,
up traits from you? Like my
yeah,
yeah, my oldest loves magic. Like
fuck
he
yeah,
loves practicing, he loves playing guitar. Like I remember early on when he was younger, we used to break dance and b-boy all the time. And he grabbed a piece of cardboard and he put it in front of the street and he was dancing and trying to get change. I'm like, bro, that's what's up. And so my youngest, he likes art and he sold art at a pet expo that we went to and just having the opportunity, man, to talk to your kids about business and building things and then like you see a little light bulb moment in them. It's an incredible feeling, man. Um, how do you feel like, how do you feel your, I guess, drive and work ethic has rubbed off on them so far? Obviously, well, right? But what do you think has been, if you can nail it down to a secret sauce, what's been your secret sauce?
just pumping that in their head every
Yeah.
day. Well, like don't listen to me, but don't listen to me. Like
Mm,
I'm only teaching you off of my experience and
hmm.
my failures obviously are a big motivation to like, don't repeat this mistake. Try it this way, this way, this way, or the way that you find most comfortable for you.
Hmm.
Uh and just being okay with like the failure part. Like I think that was the most important thing that I've told them over the time, like how many times I did fail. I've spoken to them more times about how much time I've failed than I have like the success. They don't know a lot of like the great things that have happened in my business. They've only reaped the benefits of the fruits of the labor, right? And so now that they're getting into this entrepreneurial life and, hey dad, I got friends, I'm gonna buy this, I'm gonna set up my sons, like I set up my Shopify, I use my bank account and I did this, but I just need you to help me with this and this. So I have to like tell him, all right, this is when we get into legal stuff, so you have to worry about this, you can't do this because it reflects with this. And so now it's like teaching them that part of it. But on the other side of it, it was definitely just like, yo, this is where I messed up, doing this. So what you have to do is do this, and get with your brother, make him model your clothes. Like, just have that bond with him. And he's your business partner in this as much as he only models the clothes. Those are the people that see him who come and buy your clothes. So he's
Yeah.
had 2 sales off of his brother, modeling his clothes at his school, and they're 3.5 hours apart, and so it was that ability that when that first cha-ching hit his
Yeah.
phone, it was like, oh, and then I'm handing him a stack of money that
Yeah.
somebody bought here locally before I handed that money when I handed him over his clothing. And
Mm.
I said, hey, all your clothes were shipped over and I sold 2 here because of your brother.
Yeah.
And I handed him that money, and it was just like having those motions and those abilities and just really like giving them that hands-on experience, giving them that was the best thing. And like I said, just feeding them my mistakes, showing them that like we mess up, but hey, we're still here. I'm
Mm.
still here with you, right?
That's good.
And you love what I do, and
Mm.
but I definitely just coach him up about how much shit that you're gonna go through, and
Yeah.
expect it, but use it as either a fuel or a learning moment. Don't take it as a personal hit to you and what
Mm.
it is for 20 years from now,
It's
because
that
20 years
fell
from now
fell
they're gonna
forward
be in their
mentality.
30s.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah. I talked
that's where we're at right now.
I've ran into a lot of folks who, um, they're so conditioned to failure, right? And that becomes their stopping point. And a lot of the times they'll try something, it fails, and they have a hard time overcoming that. What would you tell somebody that's in that situation?
The rat don't stop the race till he's out the maze. He'll
Yeah.
find every wrong turner. He'll find every wrong turn. He'll find every shock. He'll find
Hmm.
every trap. And if he ever gets a chance to go back, he'll never go that same route. He goes a
Hmm.
different route.
Yeah.
And just keep taking a different route. There's plenty of routes. There's plenty of them. There's so many roads. There's so many trails. There's curves. There's all these things that you could take to get to where you need. It's not just one single road controlled by a single entity. There's
Yeah.
so many God-given paths to get where you're going. So just follow your nose.
Yeah.
Like just follow the path, and trust in yourself, and trust that you have the tools to walk through all these paths, and you're suitable to do it
Hmm.
barefoot or with shoes and comfort.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you hope your kids inherit from you that they haven't necessarily gotten so far? It sounds like you've accomplished a lot with them, right? But is there a trait or something that you're hoping they can still inherit from you?
mm, just I think honestly, just to want,
Yeah.
to do something. Don't let yourself die away, rot away in your
Hmm.
room or on a phone. Just do it. Even if the idea you start in your room, that's fine.
Yeah.
Like live in your room until you finalize that idea, and then come out your room and make it happen. Put in that work, and that's one thing that I believe that I'm great at, is just taking an idea and watching it become a seed and plant the seed, and just watching it sprout.
Mm.
As long as you can get it to sprout, man, like that's where it's at. You're not always gonna have a good crop, but
Mm.
just making sure the garden's planted and your job's done, and let the universe and God take the rest over, man. It'll happen.
Yeah. Yeah. Every creator hits a point in life where just life punches them in the mouth, just shit
Mm.
happens. Where was that first moment for you? And was there ever a time where you questioned whether your creative journey or life was even possible?
Yeah, it was definitely when my brother passed away,
Mhm.
2017, man. He was like my guidance. He was my influencer. He was everything like that to me. So, when I lost him, at that same time, my son had moved from Austin to Houston with his mom. So that was like a big detachment for me because he was my firstborn, and I spent every day with him, and raised him while his mom was at work, and he would come to sets with me and make beats with me at the
Yeah.
house, and just living that whole moment. So he went away, then my brother passed away, and then I lost like the job that I was working at then because I just mentally wasn't there after my brother passed. So I took like a week off of work, and then I kind of just went back and was like, I don't want to be here. Like I
Hmm.
do not want to be at work. And so I left work, never went back. And from that moment, I just didn't know what I was going to do. I was like,
Yeah.
I lost a really good paying job, like, making really fucking good money.
Hmm.
Uh, just had a car, just got like a new car. Just fucking, like I said, my son just left, my brother just passed, just got a new house. All this stuff would just happen in less of a year span.
Hmm.
And after that moment, I really just didn't know what to do. I let my I didn't let my hunger go, but I let my mental ability to be there with everybody in those
Hmm.
moments, that went out the door. Like
Yeah.
that
How'd
was
you get
so
yourself
fucking
out of that
far gone.
season?
Man, it took years,
Yeah.
and I want to say, my brother's been gone now for like 8 years, so I I mean, I want to say like just recently in the last 2 years,
Hmm.
like over the last 2 years have been my time of healing, and dabbled in psychedelics, like dabbled in the
Hmm.
shroom world, and kind of like find some things that were just locked in my nervous system that I needed to unlock. And
Yeah.
obviously it was controlled with people that I trust in that process of doing so, because I met a lot of people doing film. So I'm meeting like therapists, and
Yeah.
I'm doing their podcast, filming their podcast for them. So I'm hearing the conversations that they're having about death and the spiritual world,
Hmm.
and dealing with all that. So it was like my brother was he put me in this position, crazy enough that this position was so specific in the time that I needed it. And
Hmm.
I wasn't in the podcast world at all.
Yeah.
And I was just filming music videos and corporate gigs for marketing and stuff. And, a buddy was like, hey, I need your help. I'm going to be setting up podcast room. I sold a podcast room that I'm building. They need people to film it. Can you help me? And I was like, yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, I got you. So that led into filming all these people. And then that led into us having a client who was, in a therapy, who was a therapist. And so he was bringing a whole bunch of mediums and
Hmm.
psychic therapists and, all kinds of spiritual world speakers. And he opened that whole world to me. And as I'm filming, I'm just picking up things that they're saying. And I'm like, so I got like free therapy sessions, but it was the things that stuck with me were everything that I needed to hear. It wasn't all the fluff that we're saying. It was those moments that I just needed to hear, that I would literally like ask my brother when
Yeah.
I'm, talking to him at his grave, or talking to him in moments of like I'm feeling hardship in my life. And so when I was speaking to my brother, and I'm, just like, man, just like help me out. And then all these things just started opening in that world.
Yeah.
And so being able to navigate through that and pick what I needed, it really just kind of like put in my heart that like we're good. We're not healed, but we're good.
Yeah.
And it's time to be better. And not just for me, obviously, but for everybody who depends on me, whether it's kids or family, or the my clients and stuff outside, that they need 100% Eric back. They need that creative juice. They need that want and that will, not just like, all right, what do you want? Okay, yeah, let's film it. All right, here we
Yeah.
go, blah blah blah. That was becoming my norm, and I was losing that love of
Hmm.
like, what's your idea? Okay, I like that idea, let's do this. Like, that was gone,
Dang.
and I needed to find that again. And so going through that moment, man, and just navigating through that silence, that death, and I turned those little moments into stories of like,
Yeah.
how do I turn this into content pieces? And then obviously like AI got introduced into the world a little bit more heavier. So like I was using AI to create these like vivid memories that I had in my head or dreams that I had from these moments of like clarity through this. So I was like creating little visuals that helped me interpret what was happening, you know? And so it was just kind of all like I gotta mix my love and my craft with my emotional connection with my brother and the passing and the healing. Like it all kind of boiled, mixed pot together, and over the last 2 years, man, it's just kind of helped me introduce the storytelling side of my business now, and it's helped me therapeutically. Like I get to talk to business owners, and then I get to like strip them away from, my product is the best product, and
Yeah.
it's no
Yeah.
longer
Who are
that now.
you?
It's
Yeah.
exactly,
Yeah.
and they've seemed to love that, and I think because of COVID, everybody got trapped in and had to deal with themselves and
Mhm.
deal with the people around them. It was no longer like just getting out of the house and escaping into a world and then coming back and just living in your world. It's like actually being a part of your world that's actually happening in your house and inside of your body and your mind. And that reflects how you started your business in the first place. So
Yeah.
bring that joy back. So, like I said, man, just doing all of that has just been really therapeutic in its own way. Um, Doing what I love to do, and now I get to like get with people and help them tell their stories and their
Yeah.
business and connections. So it's just, it really got me through to unlock a different level of my mind, and very much thankful for all that stress and that moment in time. And um, if you're like a conspiracy theorist and you're like, all these celebrities, they go through those moments when they lose somebody and then all of a sudden big fame happens and they're like, oh, it's sacrifice. It's a sacrifice of your old self, and sometimes something sheds that old self and it reveals a new, the cocoon becomes the butterfly, right, from the
Yeah.
caterpillar. And it was one of those moments where I cocooned up, and I stayed away, and I didn't let nobody get involved in my head. I didn't want to talk about my brother. I didn't want to deal with none of that. I hated those questions when we're on set, hey, yo, sorry about your brother. It's like, oh man, it's cool. And then it's
Yeah.
like in my head now. And I'm like, fuck, like I don't want it. I want to work. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm here to work, get my mind off of it. But
Yeah.
it was those moments, man, when that cocoon finally just opened up and it was a new Eric. It was because of that sacrifice
Mm.
of what I love that happened that gave me a new life. And this is what my new life is now. This is what I love doing. I feel the most connected. I feel the most involved in people's work. I feel the best clients are working with me now, not necessarily any client who just randomly just wants footage and shit. It's like actually people that have a want and a purpose, and I connect with them, and it's not, I don't feel like that evil entity inside of it no more. I don't feel like the greed and the hunger. It's people with passion and love, and they
Yeah.
just really want that story to be out. So, like I said, man, it's really a lot of that benefited from that. Although it was a horrible, one of the horriblest moments of my life,
Could only
but
imagine. Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? It definitely gave it everything a new identity, and I'm thankful for it.
Yeah. And that's really powerful. I appreciate you sharing that, man.
Yeah,
Being
man.
being vulnerable, I think, in just in your own environment, much less like social media, it's tough for a lot of people. So
Yeah.
um, we'll kind of flip over to the business side of things, right? Like I know that a lot of creators they kind of get stuck on that piece. They're great at creating, they have the skill set, but when it comes time for them to monetize that skill set, they kind of struggle. Is that something that you had an issue with early on?
Um, yes and no. Money, like I said, when I from the younger days, like I always chase money,
Hmm.
obviously. Like money makes this world go round, and we'd be naive to think not, right? So
Yeah.
definitely money was a huge motivation into a lot of that. But restate that question again one more time, just so I could pick up off from there.
Yeah, no. So creators are really great at creating whatever it
Hmm.
is, art, video, whatever. But a lot of the times when they try to monetize their skill set or their creativity, they don't know how to operate the business side, right? Like
Right.
finding
Yeah.
leads or making sales and living off
Yeah.
of their art. So
Yeah.
where
So
did you ever have a struggle with that?
yeah, no, like I said, yeah, so the money was, like always the motivator. So
Mhm.
at the end, I always set that as like my end expectation. And it was like, you know, what I'm doing, I know how to do it because this is how much it's going to bring back. Whether it was beats, hey, I'd sell a beat for $100, sell two for 150.
Yeah.
I set those parameters and I just made that the the baseline of what it is that I was doing for beats and stuff. And then videos, it was like, yeah, you could do one for 300, you can do it 500. Now, obviously, prices are up and prices are down, but to monetize, the secret of all that was really just how can I sell that solution to your problem,
Yeah.
whatever it is, and a lot of people don't create things to solve other people's problems. They create to solve their own problems or
Mhm.
to capitalize off their skill set. And the way to monetize and the way to switch that up from things is how how can I find more people who need that same solution, and how do I advertise to them in a way that I have this solution because it helped me, it can also help you. So with video, that for me on a lot of time was like I love music. I know how to make music. I know what music videos should look like. I watched music videos my whole life. I used
Yeah.
to record them at my house on the
Yeah.
VHS and shit. So it was more so taking that and telling them like, you don't have to. You can use your music video as a business card, not necessarily use that music video as I needed to get on BET. Have
Yeah.
we had clients get on BET? Yes, we've had BET, MTV, World Star. We've had all that. Did they always capitalize off of it? No, they left it there because that was their goal. Now, the way to monetize it past there is using those little pieces as a whole portfolio, creating the EPKs, creating the press kits, giving them to promoters, giving them to organizations that you can perform at, South by Southwest. Then you taking that and getting the merchandise. And so it's explaining like those steps on how to monetize, you know, over the years, like what we did, finding how to bring people to the studio.
Yeah.
We met so many people. You met so many people.
Yeah.
We brought them all to the studio, and we weren't making money, but we made money on some of like the sessions and stuff like
Mm.
that, or
The
selling a beat or
connections.
something.
Mhm.
Exactly. So just reminding them like you have to go out there and shake hands. You have to go out there and put yourself out there. You can't just create an idea and expect it to be the best solution for everybody's problem. You literally have to go out there, shake some hands, and say, "Oh, that's your problem. Well, guess what? I have that solution.
Yeah.
This is how it helped me." And that's just literally like how everything got monetized. That's how everything becomes
Mhm.
that. Now, the social media aspect of it, obviously, if you're creating good content and you're generating enough entertainment or interest and knowledge or whatever it is that you're providing people to follow you and become a follower, turning that into monetization is a little bit harder because you're fishing in a random ocean with, bass.
Yeah.
You're fishing for bass, but there's no bass in this fucking place that we're fishing at. So you're just wasting your food, you're wasting your bait,
Yeah.
you're wasting your time. You're not set for what you're fishing for. And a lot of that time is just people just don't know what they're fishing for. They're
Yeah.
fishing for views and likes, and
Hmm.
and that doesn't always pay unless you're setting yourself up for like, hey, I have a deal and they said if I get 250,000 views on this video or 500,000, subscribers on my channel, that I can get this millions of dollars. You're focused on the millions of dollars, but you don't have that many views or that
Mm.
that many people. So you literally have to find how do you attract those people, and then you just reverse engineer it all the way back to now. How does all that come back to what it is that I can actually do?
Mm.
Not something that I have to pick up,
Yeah.
learn, try to make it. I'm not a fucking. I tell my family all the time, I'm not a builder. I'm not a house builder. Can
Hmm.
I watch YouTube and learn how to build some structure and feel good about it? Hell yeah. But I also feel good when I get a guy who's, let's say, Mario, and he knows how to build, but he just can't find the clients that are looking for him to build. But I'm looking for somebody to build, and I found Mario. Now, Mario has a job. Mario now has money. Mario now has a new connection. So Mario got three things out of it. I got my house built. I got the insurance that he provides with it. I got his tools that he can do with it. So, and I saved my time. So
Yeah,
I won. Mario wins, and that's a connection built. That's how like my mind works with a
exactly.
lot of things, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. That's definitely a skill set too, especially if it's not like inherent to you, right? It's something that you can learn. But yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, if there's something that you need done, you're not passionate about it, find the person who is. But also it's like
Yeah.
it's not always about money, right? In game, yes, all
Yeah.
of us want to pay our bills, we want to succeed, all those things. But when you can help somebody else, even if it's just a contact that you know, huge deal, right? Like help others help you
100%.
kind of mentality. So,
Yeah. Shit,
um,
my neighbor does lawns.
yeah,
I can cut my lawn's not that big.
yeah,
I got a front and backyard. It's not that big, you know. It's just an
yeah,
average everyday factory home. But I will call him and be like, "Hey, yo, I got 40 for you. You want to do the front and back? I'll do it.
hmm,
Do it. You know, I'll be here working, and I'll just hear the lawnmower going
yeah,
on. He'll be up and down, but that's his business.
yeah,
He started his own business. He was tired of being a mechanic. He loved doing lawn. He does his lawn every day.
mm,
He takes care of my neighbors. He takes care of all of us, you know, and we feel, you know, me personally, like I feel good knowing that he can provide a meal for the day for his
yeah,
family with that money. He's happy doing what he loves to do. He gets to chase his dreams and add another client to his book and his log and everything like that. So
mm,
that gives him motivation for the next day to get up and do it all over again and find another me somewhere in another neighborhood, whatever.
yeah,
So, you know, it pays off to have a strong community. It's not, I encourage DIY as much as possible, but I also encourage helping the neighbor out, making
hmm,
sure that the community is established. Because if the community has money, let's just say for him, for instance, if he wasn't my neighbor, if he was a neighbor down the street and he did my lawn, I could always go to him and say, like, hey, I got an idea. I'll do a commercial for you. You do my lawn for a week or 2 weeks. I'll do this commercial for you. You put out that content and hopefully you get some new clients from there.
mm,
If you get 3 clients from there, you do my shit for a month or two
yeah,
months. You know, now we can barter that. It takes him 20 minutes to do my yard, probably. You know what I'm saying? For
yeah,
him, that's his skill set. You know, for
yeah,
me, I'm gonna be out there cleaning, talking to the dogs, messing. Come on, y'all, you know, I got to do all this
yeah,
stuff. And mentally, I'm just like, I'm in homeowner mode where I'm just like,
yeah.
ah, fuck all this. But now I can focus on my job. He's focusing on it's just a win. And I think we need more of that back and less of like
Oh yeah, for sure.
ego feeding. I can do that. I
Hmm,
don't need nobody to do that. I'm a man. Like, bro,
hmm,
I don't give a damn if you're a man or a woman cutting my lawn. If you love doing it and this is what your heart wants you to do and I don't have time to do it, guess what? You got a job with me.
yeah,
It's plain and simple.
yeah, for sure. One thing that I saw you struggle with a lot, like you were very vocal about it. You would post on Facebook all the time where people you weren't getting paid or people expected, you to move mountains, like put in the work and then
Yeah.
like how was it going through that phase? Are you still going through it? And like if you have like figured that out, how did you overcome that?
Stop blaming them.
Mm,
At the end of the day, my business just wasn't set up the proper way.
yeah.
And I wasn't being vocally clear. I was trying to chase the dollar too many times.
Mm,
And chasing the dollar too many times means I was missing steps. I was missing so many steps in the process of setting up clear expectations, setting up clear deliverables, putting that foot down before the payment is even there so that they know that when they make that payment, everything's going to be handled properly and they're paying for the ability to fix anything that needs to be. And a lot of the time the pay situations were, you know, a lot of people just one didn't have money because it was after COVID especially, but
mhm.
uh two, they just didn't see the benefit because the DIY started to kick in a lot more and everybody was becoming content creators and filming and you know I've told people like 2015, 2016,
Yeah.
I was dedicated to like creating content specifically for marketing And that's what the business was like, I'm a content creator for your marketing team. that's that's how I marketed my business. I'm not your marketing team. I just help your marketing team with content. That was basically
Yeah.
like my pitch to them. And
Mm,
so at that time, we just called it content creation, content
mm,
creators. So this was before, social media picked it up and was like, we're influencer content creators. We're just making stuff randomly and putting it on. And so like I would take that aspect and really just think, okay, I can make money this way, but I never had it set the expectations of like, you're going to get these deliverables. We're going to get it in this amount of time. I need you to do this, this, and this. You're going to pay this up front before I even edit. Now it's like before I even edit, I need to be paid in full as soon as I leave that set or before I even put your files on my computer. I need to be paid in full. And if I'm not, you've already paid a deposit for my hour time or however much time that you booked me for. That's the deposit. So that way I show up and I do my job. And after that, it's just an expectation of paying. I didn't
yeah.
set those expectations up early. And that was a lot of it was my fault. And it's a lot of creators, videographers specifically, it's a lot of our fault because we're chasing that dollar and the yes
Mm,
and not realizing what's coming with that yes. Because
yeah.
all we want to know is, do you want to pay this? Yes.
Yeah.
Do you want to hire me? Yes. Should we do it this day? Yes. Okay, I got a job. I'm paid in my head, right?
Mm,
And that was the chasing the dollar mentality of like, once I heard yes, the job was done.
yeah.
And I had to stop doing that so much in my head. I had to do, I had to be like, okay, that's step one. Step two is going out there and doing my job. Once I do my job and I leave, now it's let's get paid. If they didn't pay, they had the deposit down. That's fine. They paid for my time to be there. I didn't lose. If they plan on paying me and they're like, well, can you at least start the edit and I'll pay you down the line? No, I stopped doing that. So it's like, no, I don't put it on my computer to edit until I am paid in full. And if you don't feel like paying me, I'll just delete the footage.
Yeah.
I don't need your footage, but I already been paid for my time and you paid me to be out there. So
Mm,
it's like I just set those boundaries and those expectations up more. And it was just that I was really missing a lot. It was a lot of those boundaries because, like I said, just chasing the yes. And
yeah.
when I heard a yes, my job was already done in my head because I
Mm,
knew I could just go out there and film and I knew I could edit the shit out of some videos and shit like that. So my mind wasn't even thinking there. I didn't treat that as a different employee. The
mm,
employee I was paying was Eric, the owner,
yeah.
not Eric, the director, not Eric, the editor, then not Eric, the customer service guy who has to answer calls at like midnight at night and,
Yeah.
asking for corrections and shit. Like I didn't
Yeah.
account for all of that. Now I do. That's
Yeah.
the big thing is I definitely change hats from salesman to editor to director. I change that hat every day. You can see, well, I got a lot of hats back there, but I got
Literally and metaphorically.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I got a lot of hats that I wear, man, and I really had to buckle down with that and learn how to just pay the different Erics in my business.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, as we wrap up here, what's the next version of yourself? Like, I'm sure you're like on Eric 3.0 right now. What does Eric 10.0 look like 5 years from now?
um, Definitely with a healthier back,
Yeah.
my back and my shoulder.
Age,
Yeah,
man, it's creeping up on me. My joints are
yeah,
creaky. Like, oh, it's horrible.
man. Well, yeah, I went to the chiropractor the other day,
Yeah.
and what's today? Wednesday. So I went
Hmm.
Monday, and they did an X-ray on me, and I found out I've been working with a broken rib, a second broken rib up here, and so I'm starting to feel that pain more and more as like I'm filming. My shoulders all crunched up
Mm,
filming and stuff. So I definitely just want to be at home, watch my kid, investing in my kids' business. I want to
mm,
put my film skills and everything that I can do and into their world and help them build their content and their marketing and help them go have my business run. Where the hard part is everybody wants Eric on set a lot of
mm.
times, and I'm
Yeah.
trying to get away from that every year I try to get away from it more and more. So introducing new editors and new videographers from the company, obviously that's my goal, but there are times when it's a little hard because everybody wants to be their own boss and they
Yeah.
don't want to take it. So now it's just like finding good contractors to hire on and hey, go take care of that job. Company takes the profit. Y'all
Mm,
get the work, y'all get the portfolio, y'all get whatever y'all want. That's fine. Like I know the process. I respect it. And just keeping that process alive, keeping the video community thriving. So like I'm creating a whole bunch of things for new videographers to help price and I'm just how to business and how to run it in
yeah.
the videography world and how to deal with clients. I mean, most of my community members, they hit me up like, how much should I charge for this? How should I handle this situation? I have this bad client and they don't want to pay. And so I teach them how to collect and, just inspiring, rebuilding this business from our aspect of the ground up, not necessarily, the literal ground up from, video companies don't die, like
Yeah.
video is always going to be around, but
Yeah.
in our communities as, for music videos and stuff like that, it's very hard to establish consistent work and
Mm,
being paid consistently and being respected and taking serious and all that stuff. Just because one, the demographic, but two, like I said, chasing that yes, it doesn't give us a lot of power.
yeah.
So just reinstalling that power and teaching people how to find that power within their company, within themselves, stick to it, stick to their guns, and that's where in this next 5 years I want to strengthen this community, strengthen my personal community of sports. So I'm tapped into the sports world right now. I'm
Mm,
loving this side of the world because I love basketball,
yeah.
obviously. So I'm tapped in heavy with that now, and the end all be all goal is start have a warehouse or a location where I can start my own rec center or basketball court where I can bring in kids and photo shoots for sports when the schools don't want it. I'll take them. Yeah, bring your students over here. Have
Yeah.
a photo shoot at our basketball court. That kind of stuff, man. Just letting dreams stay alive, man, because they're trying to kill dreams right now,
Yeah.
honestly, man. And
Mm,
anything that involves people having a dream, they're trying to kill it. And
mm,
I'm just trying to keep it alive. I'm trying to keep our community thriving.
yeah. I love it, man. I love it. For folks that don't know who you are or what you do, where can they find you?
So you can find me on my company website, envisionfilms.com. That's the letter N and V, and then obviously Vision Films,
Mm,
envisionfilms.com. You can book me at ineedfilming.com. And social media is Envision Films or Mr. NV45.
cool. Cool. Well, hey, man, I really appreciate the conversation. It was great catching up. I feel like there's so many layers and things that we can unpack. So we'll have to get together again soon. What really want to do is have these initial conversations, and then maybe 6 months to a year down the line, we do a check-in and see where you're at, and maybe you grew a little more, not only business, but you yourself, your person, So it was great
Definitely.
catching up, man. We'll
Oh,
talk again
yeah.
soon. Thanks for being on the show.
All right, man. I appreciate y'all, man. Y'all have
All
a
right.
good one.
Later, man.